So the first card we have is the Malkuth card. This is also known as Kingdom, and this represents earth, air, fire, and water, the four elements, as well as life here on earth, the 3D, the physical, what we see in manifestation. I'm going to put these cards down and then talk about each of the nodes and what's happening with each one of them. This here is the Yasod position. It's ruled by the moon, and it reflects our emotions. The next position that we have here it's ruled by Venus, and it's called Victory. The name of it is Netzach. And then this position here is the Mercury position. This is also called Splendor, and the name of it is Hod. Then as we get up to this is Tippereth. That's ruled by the sun. It represents consciousness and beauty. These two here have to do with Mars and Jupiter. This is the Mars-based position. This one is called Gebura, and it has to do with desire, will, action. This has to do with blessings. Jupiter expands everything that it touches. So this has to do with mercy and good things coming to you. It's also called Chesed. This is Binah, understanding, and this is Chokmah, wisdom. This is ruled by Saturn. And then Kether, or the crown, is this card. This is the highest consciousness available. So this is high pure consciousness coming down into the 3D, into the material world, and the different nodes that it filters through until it gets to us with here, life on earth. So I'm going to talk about each one. This is life here on earth for February. This is what you'll be experiencing in front of you. This is Nine of Swords. So this has to do with anxiety. And really what I'm getting is getting out of your head, Virgo. You're ruled by Mercury. So you tend to be very logical, analytical, rational, think things through clearly in an organized way. But sometimes when there's an overabundance of thought, which is represented by the swords here, swords represent the air element, which represents thoughts, ideas, beliefs, all of the mental realm. When that dominates, sometimes it can bind us up and it can turn into anxiety. It can be running in circles when really it's not that complicated. I would say when this card comes up, look for simplicity. Often this card can be called making mountains out of molehills. Usually in the Rider-Waite, it's depicted by a woman who's awake in bed at night with her head in her hands, and there's 9 swords on the wall. And it's really poignant that she's just the only one in the card. Just as there's one person here who's binding themselves up. And oftentimes when there's too much swords energy, it's like your mind takes on a mind of its own. So the solution, if you're finding yourself in anxiety or overthinking or splitting hairs or just too much in your head, the way out of this is to invite in any of the other 3 elements. So more earth energy, more water energy, or more fire energy. So fire energy has to do with taking action on something. So like say going for a run or being active. You know, if you play sports, that's fire energy. Anything that has to do with action, creating something, building something, doing something, putting your body in motion can help you get out of your head. Also, repetitive motion is actually very good. Say like swimming or anything that has to do with even walking. Repetitive motion has shown to be able to get you out of your head because it brings you back into your body. Then earth energy, meditation can help. Being in nature, doing anything that involves putting your hands in the soil, something like gardening, having stones around you or spending time near a mountain, anything related to nature or the earth that can help ground you and get you out of too much air energy, overthinking. And then water energy is the last one that can help when this card shows up or if there's an overabundance of air. And water is connecting with your heart, identifying what emotions you're feeling, talking about your feelings, maybe even journaling about what it is you're feeling. That can help you get out of your head. Sometimes it's taking a bath or spending time in water or near water. If there's a way that you can have a fountain nearby where the sound of water is happening, this can also help you with this over dominance of air energy. So that's one of the things that's showing up for you for February. If you find yourself in your head, call on any of the other 3 elements, and that will help ground you, Virgo. With Mercury being your ruler, this can be a tendency anyway. So the next card is Yesod. This is your emotions. This is ruled by the moon. And what's coming up here is 8 of Cups. There's something that you want to move on from, especially emotionally, Virgo. And I'm really seeing this with this new moon here on February 4th. There may be something that you want to walk away from. Something that perhaps in the past you really invested a lot of time, love, or energy, you know, a lot of TLC. These cups used to be full, but now they're empty. And this is saying you're ready for the next cycle. You're ready for the next chapter. There's something you're ready to wrap up and move on from. So especially with that new moon, it's actually really interesting because this depicts the new moon and the full moon. With the new moon, it's the opportunity to begin something new. With the full moon, it's the opportunity to let something go. So I'm really getting, again, this reset, rebirth, changing gears kind of feeling from this. And it could be letting something go that used to mean a lot to you. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a project, you know, a place that you lived, something that you had invested in the past, but it's no longer bringing you emotional rewards. You're ready to have your cups full again, Virgo, is what I'm getting. And that's wonderful in this February love month. I encourage you to have your cups fulfilled. The next card that we have, the next node, this is the Hod position, and this is governed by Mercury. So this has to do with communications. Now this is potentially a water sign that you're having trouble communicating with. This could be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And normally, King of Cups is someone who is the ideal partner. They're the perfect husband. It could be male or female, but because it's showing up as male here, I'm seeing that this is either you, if you're male, not feeling like being in a partnership or not feeling like you're living up to something, or if you're female, it's that however it translates for you, you know, whether you're male or female, whatever gender you're attracted to. But this is a King of Cups energy, is the person who is the masculine energy partner, and they're showing up in the reverse. So they're feeling emotionally Hi Virgo, sorry about that. My computer camera just cut out. Anyway, so this is your communication node, and it's called Splendor or Hod. And it looks like in your communication section, you've got the King of Cups, which is the person who is emotionally stable in the upright. He's compassionate, he's loving. In the masculine presence is the ideal partner, the ideal husband. But in the reverse position, it's saying that either you don't feel like an ideal partner, or you don't feel like you're connecting with someone who's maybe a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. They're not showing up as their normal selves. Or if you ordinarily are this wonderful husband, this wonderful partner, it's maybe that you're feeling a little emotionally unstable right now. Perhaps you're looking to leave a relationship, or you're wanting to move on from something so that you can find this person or see this person as their normal selves, compassionate, loving, kind, tender, all of that. So let's see what's coming up in your victory position. This is ruled by Venus, and it has to do with things that we value. It looks like you're willing to give up the struggle, to give up the fight, to give up fruitless conflicts. 5 of Swords is a card that usually has to do with ego battles, fruitless wins, things where someone is collecting all the titles of winning, but it doesn't feel good for anyone. So this is usually called an empty victory. And with this in the reverse position, I actually like it here for you, Virgo, because it says that you're no longer willing to struggle. It's saying that you're willing to go through what's called an ego death in order to find peace. So I'm actually seeing that giving up any sort of fighting, engaging in conflicts, engaging in any sort of ego battles, giving up fruitless wins, and especially addressing how you feel maybe emotionally unbalanced. I'm liking that because it's allowing you to move on to something better. It's if you're getting out of your head, if there's too much, again, swords energy here, this is sort of an opportunity to move on from something. It's an opportunity to go on to a new cycle. So let's see what's in your consciousness. This is the Sun card. This is the solar chakra. This is called Tippereth, and it's the beauty node. This means standing up for yourself. 7 of Wands is having a clear sense of what it is that you want and being willing to defend it, taking action. Usually this card is called success despite adversity. So your consciousness may be on fruitless wins, but I'm also getting a sense that you're getting clear on what it is that you are willing to defend. What are you willing to stand up for and say, okay, this is something I want, this is something I want to keep, this is something I'm willing to take a stand on. And with all these people below him here, these could either be people that he's fighting off, or these could be people that he's leading. So 7 of Wands is a really great card of, if you are struggling, it's saying that you're in an advantageous position. So it's success despite adversity. Standing your ground, holding your ground, fighting for something you believe in. Then the next position is Gebura. This is severity. This is the Mars ruled position, and this has to do with will and desires and dreams. This is saying Ace of Wands in reverse. There's something that you want. You want a new beginning with something. It's passionate. It's vital. It's optimistic. Ace of Wands is, the masculine element, and this is saying it's passionate and it's vital, but because it's in reverse, there may be some way in which it's not getting off the ground, or it's in delay. Your desires or what you want are in delay somehow. There's a new beginning there's a little bit of fear, doubt, or resistance to this new beginning, this restart, this rediscovery potentially. But it looks like you do have the passion for it here, Virgo. You do want to take action on something. Aces are always new beginnings. And I'm thinking with that full moon in your sign, Virgo, this could be your opportunity to take this baton and run with it. This is the image of the active runner. It's the image of the person out in front of the parade who is throwing the baton in the air and leading something. So I'm seeing you taking charge of something and leading something. You may just have to get over whatever fear, doubt, or resistance to this new beginning that you want, that you're desiring. And then your next position, we have Mercy, Chesed. This is ruled by Jupiter. This is where blessings come in. It's 9 of Coins in reverse. So this is usually the person who is a single person. They've put themselves in a nice position. They've saved for a rainy day, and therefore they have luxuries. Through their own self-discipline, they've brought a lot of riches to themselves. With this in the reverse position, I'm seeing your blessings come through not wanting to be single anymore. For some of you, your blessings may come in relationships or sharing your wealth with others. This person is usually self-sufficient. So it may be that your blessings come in the form of receiving help in some way or another. But it may have to do with financial help in one way or another. Let's look at and see what your understanding position is. This is Binah, and this is ruled by Saturn. This is where there may be challenges or lessons to be overcome. This is Page of Swords in reverse. And Page of Swords in reverse is the more immature side of air energy. So this is having sharp words. This is speaking before thinking. This can also be gossip or spying energy. Page of Swords is just like the younger thinker. He's not fully developed. He thinks in a very immature way. So there may be some needs, Virgo, in February to overcome any immature thinking or the tendency to speak before thinking. That's really a tendency of Page of Swords. Or he has very cutting, sharp words. So I always think of like a teenage running with scissors. With this card, it's like not thinking at all, and therefore people get hurt, either yourself or someone else. So be careful with your words is what the lesson is here. It's having the understanding of how to use your words diplomatically, and you might just want to sort of keep a monitor on yourself. What are your words like this month? Virgo. And then in your wisdom position, this is called Chokma. Oh yeah, King of Swords. Now, totally different energies here. King of Swords is the expert of using ideas, thoughts, beliefs, words. He's very direct. He's very clear. He's very diplomatic. He's very honest. Page of Swords in reverse will say anything to get whatever he wants. He can be smooth with words. He can, be facile with them, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. King of Swords is the mature version of him. It's who Page of Swords grows into after experience. And he's able to be diplomatic, fair, honest, truthful. He uses that sheaf of wheat represents the harvest, and these oak leaves represent experience. So he uses his experience to think things through and say things fairly, diplomatically, truthfully. He knows the value of honesty. So the wisdom is in honesty and being careful and cautious and diplomatic with your words. It's encouraging you to not embrace Page of Swords energy, which is speaking first, thinking later. It's saying, no, your wisdom comes from being honest, truthful, diplomatic, wise with your words. And then hi Virgo, sorry about that. My camera quit again. So your highest consciousness this month is in justice. And you can see the difference. What I'm really liking here, Virgo, is that the difference between these three court characters, the page, the king, and justice, and where you're at the bottom is the number of swords. This is overthinking. This is too many thoughts. It's leading to anxiety. But each of these has chosen one sword, and one sword represents the truth. This is someone who has to keep track of their words and the anxiety that it brings. This is the king who just has one sword because he's in alignment with the truth. He speaks the truth. Justice is the same. Justice renders a verdict and holds up the sword of the truth. One idea, one thought, one reality. So when you get clear on something and you speak the truth, you end up here in the company of this royal court. This with your highest opportunity here is to speak truth, speak justice to yourself and to others. That's really going to be your highest potential, the crown that you can potentially wear. It's funny, Justice is even wearing a crown here. Very, very different from this sort of prisoner type energy here at the base, overthinking things, too many words, too many ideas to keep track of, too many words to keep track of, too many thoughts to keep track of. This is like, no, I've weighed the evidence and I've come up with the truth. This is what I declare. Justice is at peace. Justice renders a verdict because of her alignment with the truth. So I'm just going to say, clear out the clutter, Virgo, especially the mental clutter. Put yourself in alignment with truth. That's your highest opportunity this month. It changes you from a page, potentially speaking before thinking, to a king, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, diplomacy, tact, speaking honestly, truthfully with wisdom, even in your wisdom position. So if there are challenges or lessons to be learned in terms of speaking harshly, not speaking the truth, any sort of gossip or spying, this energy is going to be the most helpful for you. It will help you get out of any fruitless ego battles or even just sort of arguments with yourself in your own head.